Maybe a couple of questions I would be leaving with you. This dichotomy of theory and practice, it's very difficult for me to understand. Tell me even single good practice which hasn't come out of research. And those who work in the industry, I always ask a question. Give me a single good practice which hasn't come out from the book. So get out from your mind that this is theoretical and this is the practical. Because I always understand when the industry people come, they say, you have heard quite a lot about theory. Now I would like to give you practical tips. हमको अभी तक समझ में नहीं आया कि कौन practical tips है क्या? This is number one. You all have been talking about learning and learning. Learning is nothing. It's a process of unlearning. And major problem which I see in the corporate world, it is a process of unlearning. They don't want to learn. And you read the book, How the Mighty Fall. All the great empires collapsed because they were not prepared to learn. They all develop autopilot mode. So that's why I always say, trained in capacity. We develop in capacity after training. You call me a psychologist as a consultant, he will say all the problems of this company lies because of psychological issues. You call the finance people, he will say the same thing. No one gives very, very holistic perspective. And why do I say it? Once upon a time, HEC was a great company. Where is HEC? Where is HMT? Where is Nokia? Where is Kodak? Where is SCART? Where is DCM? Once upon a time, they were the great icons of the great companies. Where are they? And that's why I always suggest my corporate leaders, read a book, a very small book, Who Moved My Cheese? Just a 45-page book. Who moved my cheese? Because your cheese can be taken away by the small players. And for the first time you see, the giants are being dented by the small players because their cheese can be moved anytime. Why do I say it? I have been selecting the directors and the chairman in the banks. So has been the public enterprises. I ask a question. How many books you have read in the last 4 years? कोई किताब नहीं पढ़ा सर. So I said, it means that whatever you learned in your graduation degree, that was sufficient? Huh, sir? So we go on repeating. And with the young fellows, after MBA training, they come and they start asking questions. You say, बालों को धूप में बैठ करके नहीं पकाया है. तुमको पता नहीं चल रहा है कि तुम क्या बोल रहे हो बिल्कुल. We kill all the ingenuity and we all kill all the curiosity. What to do about that one? So I thought, and the third point which I would like to say, Dr. Bhandarkar raised a very fundamental question. Grooming leaders. She was not talking about the apprenticeship model, which somebody talked about it. If they go through the apprenticeship model, they become a good worker. Forget about being a good supervisor. I am very happy that Hussein talked about the level of leadership from workers to supervisory and from supervisory to managership. Who talks about the leadership? Who talks about the leadership? Luckily, Gandhi did not do his MBA. Luckily, I am saying. Otherwise, when he was thrown out in Johannesburg around 12 o'clock in the night, severe cold, he did not do the decision tree analysis. If I follow this one, this would be the outcome, this would be the outcome. Gandhi heard the powerful language of his soul and heart. He said, began. Great leaders always began. Munjal did not do MBA program. G.D. Birla did not do MBA program. H.P. Nanda did not do MBA program. But they could build because they developed the sixth sense. And what Dr. Bhandakar is saying, she is very right. कहीं ऐसा न हो कि मशीन हमारे sixth sense को मार दे. How to build the sixth sense? And that's why, please remember, you are not in the business of building finance people. You are not in the business of building marketing people. You are not in, because this is not a great rocket science. Finance is not a great rocket science. Mathematics is also not a great rocket science. HR is not a great rocket science that can be learned. You all are in the business of grooming leaders. Are you really grooming leaders? In the morning, somebody was sharing with me while coming in the car something about the Harvard fellows. I said, they built a lot of goons. Kill the corporate world. Where is ethics? Where is morality? Performance of companies were going down. Particularly in the finance sector, I hope Mamata will not mind. The salary of the CEO is going up. Who can imagine? Only goons can do it. Not a sensible person. Friends, and that's where Vajpayee was a great leader because he was a poet. That's why people ask a question to Janaka that who is a great leader? And Janaka's reply was, no one can be a great leader without being a great philosopher. Philosopher king ka jo issue hai, you know that Munjal has done tremendous amount of work. So long as the old man was alive, because he was also on the board of MDI, and I also worked with him in this company, he said, इसको कारपेट सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को प्रचार करने की जरूरत नहीं है. We are doing it because of humanity. We are doing it for poor people. We are doing it not corporate social responsibility. We are doing it because it's a responsibility of the house. We have got something, we must also distribute something. And that's why I find in the olden days, all the dharmsalas, all the universities, even in the US, all the universities, they came out from whom? They came out from the businessmen. Carnegie Mellon. Think about Stanford. One man, Stanford. And many great schools. 2 or 3 points for the students. Don't take your Kasan money when you leave the school. Don't take your Kasan money. Leave that one. Give that Guru Dakshina to the school. I always ask a question, what you have done from where you got everything in your life. Giving is very important. The success lies not in terms of acquiring and acquisition. The success lies in terms of giving. In fact, I find that all the land which was with us, we have virtually donated, and I also supported one school in my village and something like that. So one of my sons told me that you don't have money, a very great decent life, and you are giving all these kind of things. So we are thinking of starting something in the name of my father, that at least respect. Where is the respect? So I think that maybe you are thinking that I am highly philosophical. I'm not highly philosophical. That is the essence of life. Are you grooming leaders who understand the essence and meaning of life? Sometimes I feel very disgusted. I find there used to be one proverb my father used to tell me, Poot kaput to kadhan sanchi. If children are scoundrels, why save money for them? If they are the very competent fellows, why save money for them? In the corporate world, I find your job is to build. Managers groom followers. Leaders build leaders. And that's why I always say the success of a company, and I've got great respect for Maruti. I have great respect for JRD, Tatas, you know that. Because you find that they groom leaders. All the automobile companies in India, They are today manned by Maruti fellows. Arun came here. Saxena also went from Maruti. Many persons, even I am forgetting his name, who went to Mahindra and Mahindra because Maruti believed grooming leaders. And do you know, perhaps Hussein doesn't know about it. When we were doing some kind of work for Maruti, at that time there was a request from Maruti Suzuki in Japan that why not similar kind of Pratik is sitting here, why not similar kind of work can be done in Japan. Friends, these are the issues. I always thought that business schools must also ask a question, who will move my cheese? The cheese are already getting moved from business schools. And I find a very great danger in the business school unless they gear up, unless they move to the next orbit, and unless they move out. Making money is really very good. Because I said Arthakari Subidya, but making good money by offering good product is extremely important. And this is what I would be requesting all the business schools. Please, because I feel very bad, they don't know the difference between the expenditure and investment. Every investment becomes expenditure. That's why Subir Burma, I call him Don. That's why when the Don was saying something, I said, what is your branding and positioning? I was also talking to him that we have to think about the different branding and positioning. Because जो दिखता है वो बिकता है, जो नहीं दिखेगा वो बिकेगा कैसे? और particularly in the field of education, सबको दिखाना बड़ा मुश्किल है because it's a quality, it's a power of mind you are selling. You are not the commodity you are selling. You are the power of mind you are selling. So I thought that I'm sorry that Siparna, you gave me 3 minutes slot when I requested you, because I thought that I must also say technology is important. Very important. We must move with technology. But what Dr. Bhandarkar says, you have to go beyond technology. Because those who have created technology, they also went beyond technology. And these are the leaders like that Walkman. Who made Walkman? I'm forgetting the name, you know that. Because Dr. Bhandarkar and myself, we have done about 20 leaders of the world. Remember, 20 or maybe more than 20 leaders of the world. They are not trapped by others' thinking. They use others' thinking, but they are not trapped by that. Can we also train our students? One thing, Pandit Baad Badai Su Jhootha. Whatever professor says in the class, it's all lies. Think beyond that. Question the professor. And that's why the job of a professor is also to agitate your mind. If he has done his job, I said, you have done the great job. Agitate the mind of the students. And the students also train them to agitate the mind of the professors. I would like to thank, on my own, of course, you know that you would be thinking, but since I am here, I would like to thank Subrat. I must also say, in the last 3 months, Subrat has been, for example, that this L&T man, his wife told about Nayak, the A.M. Nayak. See, we were interviewing, because when we were writing the case, we also interviewed their wives, that. He said, बोला कि सर आप उनकी पहली वाइफ से मिले हैं कि नहीं? तो I thought कि भाई हमको समझ में नहीं आया. I am a professor, simple man. I took out his diary, telling me, man, the mobile number and the phone number and where she stays, we must go. He said, no, you have met his wife. I said, who is that? She said, L&T is the first wife of Nayak. He romances with L&T, he sleeps with L&T, he breathes L&T, he eats L&T. Such kind of leaders I find beyond the mind there is something, mind to passion, mind to prove, mind to move. I think that, and if you see Chak De movie, if someone asked a question, why you have come? His reply was what? Gold Cup. Response from him was, that's very impossible. He said, that's why I have come here. Leaders do things which appears impossible. Teach them. There is nothing like possibility, that this whole analysis, and many times I find, friends, too much analysis also leads to paralysis. Never allow your students to be trained to be totally paralyzed by the power of data and by the power of facts. Thank you very much. And I must